are not turning our back on the idea of a second commitment period for Kyoto. We do not want Durban to be the burial ground of the Kyoto Protocol. To be clear, the big prize here is the prize that we agreed 4 years ago in Bali, right? In Bali, there was a roadmap towards, in Copenhagen, having a fair, ambitious and legally binding treaty. And that's what should be on the table at this COP. Sadly, it isn't, right? But what we need this COP to do is to move us as close as possible to a fair, ambitious and legally binding treaty. Now, in Copenhagen, we said we wanted a fab deal, not a fabulous deal, but a fair, ambitious and legally binding treaty. In Copenhagen, we didn't get a fab deal, we got a flab deal, F-L-A-B, full of loopholes and bullshit. And right now, we are still dealing with governments who are in denial. I mean, listen, the writing is on the wall. The impacts we are seeing with our own eyes right now in terms of, whether it's forest fires in Texas, Australia and Russia, whether it's drought in Somalia and the Horn of Africa and so on. So, there has to be a greater sense of urgency. And we know from previous UN summits, coming to a big conference, having all the countries there, having them sign a declaration saying we support this, it doesn't mean anything. The compliance deficit in terms of not implementing things that countries commit to in nice sounding words at UN conventions and summits is not good enough. Then there are some specific areas, where we would like to see movement, such as with regard to forest protection, with regard to innovative means of financing. In particular, we have two conversations going around: an aviation tax and a shipping tax, which is based on the old idea of, the polluter pays principle. And we hope that at least on these very modest low-hanging fruit, we can actually have some positive outcome here in Durban. Otherwise, it'll be yet another very expensive, very carbon-intensive summit, which actually delivered very little and didn't justify even holding the meeting in the first place.